Welcome to round 3 of the Dynamic Disc Open. It is the 5th Pro Tour event of the year. It is round 3 of 4 and also the cut day. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We are the two Hot Geese.
Honk. It was so windy today.
Oh my God.
That's really all I can think about.
That's all we're going to talk about. You're going to hate it by the end.
You'll be able to hear it too. So we're going to talk about it and you'll hear it blowing.
Got a 3-way tie right now. Kristin Tattar, Jennifer Allen, Hailey King, all even par. Kat Mertsch at 2 over. All these ladies shot under par yesterday at Jones Supreme to get on this lead card. We are at Country Club today. Maybe a slightly easier track, but the wind was low to mid 20s sustained with 35 mile an hour gusts.
Mm-hmm. And it felt like more than that. Hole 1 is a ripping tailwind. You're going to throw something that does not hyzer out left, ideally, over this flag line, which is out of bounds. The road, obviously, is also out of bounds. You're going to throw 2 more shots before you even get close to the green. This one would be really tough to birdie, although maybe it's in range for some of these big arms. But the wind today, I don't know about that. The out of bounds does pinch a little bit on the left side with that green, ball golf green, and it gets a little bit closer to the road. That bush behind the basket, you just don't want to mess with it.
From Parnu, Estonia, sponsored by Latitude 64, Kristin Tattar.
Kristin shot 6 under yesterday after her first round 6 over par. She moved up 21 spots to tied for first place. I do think this one's birdieable. Like, maybe not in the wind so much, but distance-wise,
it's gettable.
For sure. Kristin trying to take the left side out of play with a big sidearm.
Yeah, the fairway does slope down from right to left just slightly, and if you skip at all, the grass is not grabby. It will let you just fly out of bounds.
From Gilbert, Arizona, sponsored by Innova, Jennifer Allen.
Jen shot a 3 down yesterday. And looking forward to see her throw some big shots today.
Yeah, she has historically shot really well at Country Club. It caters to her game of throwing far.
She's ripping a destroyer. It's a little low and gets caught up, but she's in a fine spot. Anything kind of in that ditch is fine.
From Indian Trail, North Carolina, sponsored by Innova, Hailey King.
The last time we saw Hailey wear white pants, she set a course record, I think. So...
Oh my gosh, maybe we get to see white pants Hailey today.
We'll see. Look at that wind. It's stupid.
And right now we even have the huge grandstand for spectators blocking the wind right now. And it's that windy.
Yep. Hailey also trying to take the wind more out of play with a sidearm. She's a little more right than Kristin, but gets past that main tree and should be all right.
And from Rosebud, Arkansas, sponsored by Innova, Kat Mertsch.
We'll see if her play can make as much of a statement as her outfit.
It's like her and Hailey are polar opposites right now.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, actually. Also going forehand. Definitely a good golf play. The wind is pushing the backhands out of bounds pretty easily if you're not careful.
I heard her jamming this song yesterday after her round. It's supposed to be this week's theme song.
Hailey looks like she's going another destroyer sidearm. Smooth shot.
Super smooth.
A lot of ground action.
Okay.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, just roll back out into the middle. Into that.
Yeah, great shot. I think that is a Thunderbird from Kat. Anything at the top of this hill sets you up for a birdie look. A long birdie look. It's still probably 300 or a little over from the top of the hill. Jen going destroyer again as she did off the tee. That might be 2 turned. Or it's really stable and good.
Wow.
Yeah.
And gets through all the foliage over there.
Yeah, I thought she was trying to go to that right of the tree, but it worked out just fine. She's way up there.
You think tailwind? My disc is just going to stable out, so I'll just put some Annie on it and let it hyzer. But like the way that this wind was blowing, if you showed any tiny sliver of the underside of the disc, it was gone.
Bye.
You could not trust just simply tailwind, headwind.
Yeah, there's a lot of crosswinds too. Kristin throwing another sidearm with her Rive. She is kind of under those bushes.
Oh, man.
Pretty badly. It doesn't even have that much of a gap, but she, like, that's not that far, but she's what, 225 for par, something like that.
Yep.
So hopefully she can convert. Kat's third shot. Showing off her sidearm on this first hole. A little more ground action than she wants. I think the gimme putt went from 20 feet to like 11. You got to 12 feet in the wind and you're like, oh boy.
Yep. Right outside the bullseye, you're like, this is a tester.
This is it. Oh, that's beautiful.
I mean, even like that one tapping it in, you have to be very aware because you can very easily blow out of the basket.
Yeah, you
That's how it was.
You have to take it seriously. Was Jen lined up at the wrong disc for a second?
Maybe.
Makes the correction and goes
Way deep.
pretty deep. Edge of circle 2 with a rock, I believe.
I'm a headwind comeback putt.
She says, should have trusted my putter. And
Hailey with similar problems, just kind of filtering down the hill behind the basket.
yeah, the touch was hard. If you threw too soft, the wind would lift and take it. If you threw too hard, the wind would lift and take it.
Oh, it sounds like we had very similar experiences.
Yeah, I never quite figured it out, I think. Hailey with a good bid. She, had the right height and stayed close. Jen,
Looks like she's
Laying
just maybe
up?
laying up. Yeah, it was a screaming headwind on the screen.
Cat from under the bush. It's a good effort. Kristin for the easy par.
There were 3 birdies today. Katrina Allen, Ella Hansen, and Holly Finley getting birdie 4s.
Yeah, I bet that felt good.
Yeah, any birdie is going to feel good today, really. You're like praising the Lord when you get a par. So a birdie feels amazing.
I think Jen with the only bogey there and everyone else with birdies. Hole 2 is a par 4, 582 feet. We are going from the men's tee. We used to go from a shorter tee. There's OB kind of short and left the whole way. And then we have a short pin position up here on the right. Go check out our merch. The mouse pads are selling like hotcakes. gkprodisc.com/shop. Thank you for your support. And we just love you guys,
To all the other people that bought mouse pads, you're really making our dreams come true.
It's just like the biggest honk.
The biggest, honking louder than every other goose in the world.
Kristin, again, really smart to go forehand. You can see that OB kind of stretch into the landing zone. This is the other common play to try to split these trees, but it can easily get caught up. Hailey, pretty fortunate to get through. I mean, it's a huge shot.
Yeah, and the kicker there is you really want it to hyzer out at the end, because if you're pinched too far right, it makes your approach to the green really challenging. So you can see right here, Kat getting that hyzer finish, and that's going to be great.
Pretty perfect. And she's still even a little farther right than you want. I just feel like this OB is like a little too much in the landing zone and forces you to take this strange right side fairway. If you can't tell, I preferred the shorter pin position with the longer pin placement.
I did love that one too.
Yeah, I just liked it. This is somewhat still attackable, though. It's just you have to land in a pretty specific spot on the fairway.
And I'm sure she practiced that shot very hard in practice and executed it well.
Yeah,
The classic turnover
it
roller.
just rolled over. She's still way up there.
Oh yeah.
This looks good from Jen.
The wind here,
Wow.
that was a great shot. The wind here was left to right. You could see it just as soon as Kristin turned it over, it started rolling. And if you show the underside, it can have a tendency to lift you up. Hailey really not getting much action on the disc, though. She'll be outside the circle with a nice tailwind putt for birdie.
Kat pretty far up here. That's really the ideal look at it. She goes kind of a high stall sidearm and parks it.
Perfect. Oh, they're making it look like it wasn't windy. Which is,
They always do that.
yeah,
I mean,
they do always do.
everyone listening should know it was really hard.
Oh no, that's fine.
It's fine. If you were to go play this, you would have a hard time. Like, it's not easy. They're just really good.
Honestly, you would go outside, feel this, and would say, "Oh, we're not going to play disc
It's
golf
one of the
today."
days that you're like, what are we choosing to do with our lives?
Besides
We're throwing
disc
frisbees
Yeah.
in this. Man, Jen left with a pretty unfortunate kind of stretch out putt. She's still got a tap in par, but bummer. Kristin with a par. Cat with an easy birdie.
Yeah, one of only 3 on the day. Alex Benson and Emily Beach also getting 3s. I think that's going to be kind of a theme for the day. Is most holes are going to have 5 or less birdies because they were just so hard to get out here.
This stretch, though, is kind of a birdie gauntlet.
Yeah. Although this hole, in my opinion, is very difficult even in calm conditions. It's a downhill par 4, which it's in the distance range where you don't need to bite off much, but it's so hard not to go for a 466-foot downhill shot. You want to get that too. You just want it. But in the wind today was screaming left to right crosswind, and the OB pinches as you get towards the basket and is inside the circle behind. You don't want to do anything crazy.
This is crazy.
This is crazy. That's a very aggressive play.
Like, crazy in a great way. No, come back. Dang. She's
So
almost
close.
pin high. The backhand is definitely the riskier shot. The forehand that Kristin's going to show, she's going to go left side of this tree, is really... Oh. Okay, well, she probably meant to go left side of the tree. And that's the safer play. It takes the out of bounds out of play, but she was just early. She is way down there and can still par. Hailey showing us the backhand flex line.
Ooh,
That tree, I think, helped her out.
I think it helped her a lot.
It was too turned. And she can still birdie from there. That's the thing. If you can kind of suck it up and just chip something to the middle, you can get a birdie relatively easily in lower wind conditions.
Yeah, today was just insane, but it was mostly about just keeping it in bounds. That was the kicker. Jen going big here, but
She's...
oh yeah,
Oh, she might be in.
she might be in. There's a nice little bubble
Yeah,
over there.
it bubbles out right there, and she'd be close for her birdie. This needs to fade. Little tree kiss.
And she'll have a circle's edge putt for her par. I mean, for her birdie.
Birdie, yeah. It just feels like a par. A 3 feels like a par.
It does.
Again, it's not the distance, it's more just kind of the shape and hill that make it a little odd.
10 out of 10 did not know that this was a par 4 until watching this coverage right now.
That's why you don't need to go for it. You really don't. It's just tempting.
Mm-hmm.
Kristin, wow. Did you see that wind drop halfway through? I think she got inside the circle pretty well, though, for her par.
Cat hat off,
Letting her hair down.
playing with the wind. Oh.
Yeah, she leaves it
A
short.
wee bit short.
Common mistake in the wind.
Kristin with definitely a tester putt here, and she's putting out of bounds. It looks
More
like
than a
she's-
tester.
Yeah, it's a death putt and a half.
And I mean, that's for par after the OB.
Oh, my God.
That's twice as far as like most putts that were made today. Yeah, let's watch
Are you
it.
kidding me?
What wind? Also, look at Kat's slow motion hair. That was a beautiful putt.
That was a beautiful putt.
There wasn't even a question.
The left to right crosswind had no bearing on the flight of that disc.
What a par. See if Kat can follow suit, though hers is for... Actually, she went out of bounds too, didn't she? Yep. So she'll have
she's
to
laying
take
four right now.
Yep. Oh, yeah, you're right. Hailey gonna take a par. Kat skipping to her disc.
This is for bogey.
Yeah.
Did that blow out?
Yeah, I mean, she hit it really
High.
and hard in the center, but it might have stuck on a less windy day. Jen with a great birdie there, tap in. Let's see what everyone else is dealing with out here.
Not so bad right now.
Yeah, Emily Beach, 2 down through 4. That's unreal.
Yeah.
Alexis Manduhano, 1 down through 5. And then everyone else even over par. Again, similar to Jones, if you can get even today, you're winning.
Yep. You'll be on lead card tomorrow, no doubt. This is a newer hole, I believe. You want to throw something out here into the middle. Turning over is fine. You don't want to go too far right, though, because your second shot needs to go to the right of this out of bounds green. You can see the basket back there in the corner. There is out of bounds just beyond the basket and along the right-hand side at the fence line. I really like this hole.
Yeah, it used to be shorter and to the left, and it was kind of an unreachable par 3. So now it's a very gettable par 4. I also like this change. Jen's going Destroyer.
And I like this play as long as it flexes. It might have gotten far enough down there that it doesn't quite matter.
Should be okay. If you get kind of close-ish to that ditch, it's less than 300 feet to the pin.
This was one of the few holes that had a good wind for the hole.
Wow. Kristin is throwing a Rive here, which is a very stable disc, and she's way down there past the ditch. That's kind of where the old pin placement used to be. So it's still pretty far to the pin, but I don't know if she's going for an angle play or she didn't turn that over enough.
Yeah, it does set up for a hyzer over there.
Yeah, maybe.
Hailey flipping something, though, on purpose.
I do think that white one's a Destroyer.
That's such a great shot.
Yeah, the way it stabled out, I think it was.
Yep.
And yeah, anywhere close to that ditch is great. On the right side, particularly.
Another hair shot.
Whoa.
I lost it.
It looked really good, and then it got bumped really high, and it's
Fine.
so good.
Yes, absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Gonna be a funky lie, but I mean, she's what, 250 from there?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely closer than everyone else. She's caught up in that tree right in front of Jen. Jen flipping this over, it needs to kind of get stable and come back to give her a putt. She's in circle 2. That was her. No, I can never say this right. Cayman?
Yep.
Yeah, I always want to pronounce that wrong and embarrass myself.
Thank goodness you explained it out.
Yeah, so now that you all know, this is Kristin inside the circle.
Wow. Yep. That looks like another birdie. This green was really protected, which was nice. Not as much wind as some of the other greens out here.
It's a little blind. You really have to trust yourself going over this hillside.
Yeah, look at that little roll at the end.
I feel like you think it's shorter than it really is, and it's really easy to leave it just outside the circle.
Yep.
It's rare. Kat is one of the only ones on the card, or probably the field, to see the pin on her second shot. And she still leaves it a little short.
Yeah, that out of bounds is behind the basket, but it's about 40 feet behind the basket. But it's still in your head.
Maybe closer to circle's edge. It's there.
It's there. It exists.
Like, if Kat's not careful, she can find it.
Soft bid.
Looks like she's careful, though.
Yeah, that was a great run. Hailey for birdie from right around the edge of the circle. Yeah.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
And that gets her under par for the round. Kristin as well, 1 down.
So hole 3, 4, and 5 are the 3 easiest holes on the course.
Yeah, they're all a little bit softer at par 4s.
From here on out, it only gets harder.
It's really stressful if you don't birdie them. It's like, this is it. This is
all
the
I
time.
have. Yeah.
Good to see some birdies on the lead card here.
song is just amazing. I love you, Oregon!
Hole 5 is a 523-foot par 4. Similar hole as in the past. We're going from the long tee to a shorter pin, so it definitely plays easier. The cart path on the right is OB. The cart path in the middle is confusing and nothing. There is an OB line on the left. If you just stay in the middle, it's really just kind of a chip shot hyzer to the pin. The trees definitely can come into play depending on where you land on your drive. Trying to remember, I think this one was
It was a right to left.
Yep, right to left.
I don't know why it doesn't look windy on the flag.
I mean, you can see the flag. Look at those flags back there.
Oh, like bending over.
Yeah, it's windy. I saw 3
Snapped.
flag poles that were snapped.
Yep. Yeah, it's supposed to be like flexible metal that doesn't snap, and they're just snapped in half because of the wind. Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's pulled. If it's stable enough and stops, it's great. Oh, I don't even know what happened.
Yeah,
It hit the ground and kept blowing. Look, it's rolling still. Okay, so that has to be out.
Yeah, I think so. The play here really is to throw low under this tree in linear, like we see Jen doing. That's a great shot. It's a little scary because that tee box, golfing tee box that's underneath the tree is out of bounds. So if you catch those branches and drop straight down, you're OB.
Yeah, Jen is a little shorter than you want to be, but it's short enough of a hole that she'll still be able to birdie it. Kat trying to take the wind into account and just chuck a sidearm down there, and that'll be just fine.
Kristin with a lot more distance left. And she's still choosing the sidearm here. That surprises me a little.
Me too.
That'll work out. Not a putt for birdie. She's got a straight headwind look.
Yeah, I guess she's just trying to take the right to left out of play by going sidearm. But I feel like those trees are pretty tough to get past if you don't throw it
Definitely.
just perfect.
Jen keeping it nice and low.
I
Getting
love
some
that.
super great skip.
That was a Firebird. I like that. Just kind of low under the wind staple play. Cat going a bit higher, and you can see the wind start to take this. And that wasn't really a bad thing. It hit those trees. I think it helped her.
Yeah, these winds, it was crazy. If you throw a hyzer like we just saw Kat do, especially high like that, it could so easily just push it up and out of bounds.
Hailey with a nice low sidearm and a really good scramble shot from out of bounds to save her par. Kristin, that's like pretty close to a straight headwind from 55. Wonder if she's just laying up or going for it.
Going for it. Bid.
But staying close. Good way to do it. Hailey for a par save.
This feels a little like a tester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean a little?
I know.
She's past 12
I'm
feet.
trying to have faith. Maybe not everyone feels the same way as me.
No, I feel like the normal tester range was drastically reduced.
Yep. And it was so strange just to have up to a putt because you just expect that something's going to happen. You're just okay with it. You're like, oh, well, even if I went out and practiced these, you can't really control what's going to happen once it leaves your hand.
That was a great birdie from Jen to get her under par for the round. Hailey double bogeying. She's 1 over on the round.
And those 3 putts can happen anywhere out here. I mean, anywhere. There's so many treacherous greens. Thankfully, most of them were fairly flat, which is nice.
Yeah, you didn't see a lot of rolls. It was more just like wind lifts.
Hole 6 is one of the few par 3s on the course at 340 feet. There's out of bounds on the left-hand side. It was a right to left crosswind, so staying out of that out of bounds is really difficult. You want to carry just past this corner and hyzer into the green. It was really tough, though, to get around the initial tree on the right-hand side while not letting your disc hyzer out.
Yeah, the tree really blocks you from throwing kind of as wide as you would like and makes you throw more of a flex shot. That's way too early and doesn't have a chance. And might even be hard to save the bogey. You really have to throw a technical flex shot in the wind to have any kind of look at birdie. Kristin is throwing Arrive like she has thrown every hole so far. Also,
there is out of bounds
early.
deep of the basket as well. She doesn't even get to that, but if you hyzer out too much, you can find that easily.
All right.
Same.
Cat can correct. It's trying to turn, but that wind is just pushing it out of bounds.
Up on top of this hill. Oh, did that
She
work?
stayed in. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she stayed on the edge enough and
Up on top
might
of
even
this,
be parked.
Yeah, up on top of this hill, the wind was ripping worse than anywhere else on the course. Hailey taking a sidearm route, and I love this play.
Yeah, it takes the wind mostly out of it. Supposed to be safe, but lands 5 feet from OB. Tough shot from Jen here. Hopefully she can let the wind kind of help her disc push left, but not too much.
Oh, it's helping all right.
Helping too much. Where is she?
Yeah.
Out again.
They added this out of bounds line actually yesterday to keep people from pushing into the tee pad of the next hole. Hailey has this pretty straightforward shot, taking a knee, slides it up, but leaves it a little, and I want to say leaves it a little short because it was probably going to be a great shot, but the wind just does what it will.
Yeah, that's a tough, anything outside the bullseye is hard.
Yep.
Kristin putting it to, 10 feet? That was a great shot.
That was a wonderful shot.
Man, Jen with 2 OBs, she's just laying up.
Look at that.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
But this is for birdie.
Oh,
I think she was.
she was
think
running it.
Going in.
Yeah, she was running.
Huh.
And that's what you're going to have to pay for, though. Running stuff like that, oh my gosh, look at it.
Yeah. Was she going for it or laying up?
No, that was definitely a layup, and that probably a smart
layup.
play.
Yeah. Cat going for it again.
The disc would be blowing around in your hand. You'd have to like really hold on to it for it to not blow out of your hand up on top of the screen. Good recovery from Kristin, though.
Yeah, this hole at the distance, you really want to think about a birdie, but nope. Boy.
You just walk off every green like, well.
That's what happened. Hole 7, we're going from the men's tee pad from last year. We used to have a shorter one, so it's through the tunnel. This out of bounds area on the right here that we're flying over right now is kind of in the landing zone, so you have to land in this narrow strip on the left, and then you have to throw over this ditch, back up a hill to an elevated pin. There's obviously out of bounds left and right, farther down. I feel like this is pretty unreachable from this new tee pad.
Yep. For sure, especially in the wind. It was a right to left crosswind.
Kind of leaning into a headwind even, too.
Yep, definitely. Kristin still biting off more than probably anyone did all day.
That's amazing.
That was amazing.
It's a beautiful shot.
She's throwing just the shot you would throw in a normal round.
And she's still kind of flirting with that OB a little bit.
Kat taking the safe route. If she did not get over that sidewalk there or that cart path, it is out of bounds. So it's kind of scary to go that way. You just don't want to let your disc get beat down.
That is, well, it's actually probably
Short
good
enough.
Yeah, laid up short. These trees are no joke. It's so narrow. And then the landing zone is so narrow too.
And then the wind.
Jen also going so low.
I mean, that's the play here at this point. If you go too high, too, it could so easily blow you out of bounds left.
Kristin isn't an amazing spot, but it's still such a tough birdie that it's really not a bad idea to just play for par.
There was a nice little break in the wind as you moved down this fairway. It was blocked by the clubhouse, and you can see the flags looking nice and calm over here. It was a lovely break.
It was ripping when I went through.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if the wind was shifting all day.
It was. I literally watched it like on the island hole, watching the water, and it shifted probably like 30 degrees on the water.
Wow.
In 45 minutes.
Yeah, look how calm hole 1 looks right now on the left.
Just gotta take what you can get, I guess.
Your second shot here, you want to throw at that big tree and let it hyzer back, or your Hailey King and you hyzer flip something in the wind.
This.
Yes.
Wow. Jen's was also very good and way
Yes.
down there.
This plate is the third most difficult hole, and I think
That's interesting.
I think that
Just
comes
because no birdies, probably.
Yeah, I think that comes from the fact that it is difficult to reach. Like Kristin
If
threw a
anyone-
best case scenario,
Yeah.
and it's still a smash.
I mean, if anyone has a chance to birdie right now, it's her.
Yep.
And I think she's going to do it because I said it's unreachable. That was an amazing shot.
It's
Amazing
also-
pair of shots.
It's also really tough, even regardless of the distance, to get through those trees that she just got
That's
through the
true.
middle of. Those branches are really great guardians.
Cat throwing a sidearm up the left side. Falls just outside the circle for her par. Jen's third. Coming in with some heat.
Yeah.
Kind of flashes the chains and stays pretty close. Again, that's kind of a tester, especially with an elevated pin.
Hailey opting for the sidearm pitch up. Love this play. There we go. She'll check up right outside the bullseye.
Kristin for a birdie.
Come on, baby. Inches too short.
Yeah, looked great.
She would have been the only one
Yeah.
on the day. No one else. Only 20% of the field getting a par, 80% of the field getting a bogey or worse. Wow. That surprises me. Although obviously
doesn't surprise me.
conditions.
We had a tee pad that was 80 feet closer, and it was still a par 4
True that.
last year.
Erika, spitting facts.
So I liked the old hole. If you
Me
can't
too.
tell.
I loved the old hole.
Yeah.
What a great par
Really
save
nice.
from Jen.
Cat for her par. Bogey. I can do math.
They add up quickly out here. It's hard to keep track.
Oh, right. Yep. I counted them just now in my head, and it checks out, everybody.
This is
Don't
Hailey
worry.
for par, I believe.
Way to add the I believe when you're not sure.
Questioning everything. And Kristin will have a tap in for her par. Impressive.
Yeah, she's even for the round through 7.
That's amazing.
Really solid.
That's great.
Hole 8 is a long par 5, 886 feet. This cart path on the right is OB. Flag line left is OB as well. It gets pretty narrow as you go, so I kind of like the hyzer off the tee, try to land in the middle. If you can get up and over or on top of this hill on your second shot, you can then attack for a birdie. It really calls for a power sidearm, but you can definitely sneak a hyzer through those 2 trees on the right to get a look. This is all, ideal scenario. Of course, it definitely played pretty tough. It was a left to right tailwind, which really wasn't a bad wind to attack on. So hopefully we see some birdies on this one. It's how much you want to bite off, how much risk do you want to take?
And just making sure you don't show the underside of your disc, because it will not let your disc hyzer back in bounds. Kristin does a great job of throwing on a pure hyzer line the whole way, and she gets way down there.
Yeah, on a pure hyzer line, that's a great amount of distance.
Hailey puts it up higher than maybe you want. It needs
That's
to
fine.
sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That grass can be so skippy.
I don't think it played super skippy today. It rained last night and it was pretty grabby. This is a pretty big shot.
That's a beefcake of a disc.
Looks really good.
She showed the underside a little bit, and it still came back. They're making this look easy.
Yeah, that was a destroyer, which Jen has thrown off of every tee so far. Windy day means destroyer. Cat taking it out wider and just hyzering into the middle. That's a pretty typical play to take a little bit of distance off and just make sure you land in the middle. So again, ideally, you're doing what Hailey's doing here. This is a little risky on the right. Dang it. The distance was great, and it would have sat nicely on the top of the hill. It was just a couple feet too far to the right.
Cat opting for the sidearm here. I love this play. Letting the wind blow her back into the middle of the fairway, not trying to do anything too crazy.
Yeah, whereas Hailey's backhand play, the wind kind of kept her out. Cat using it to help keep her in bounds. This looks really good from Kristin. Up and over the hill.
Wow.
She will definitely have a chance to get a birdie.
Yeah, absolutely smashed. This hole averaged at 1 stroke over par. Hole 7, 8, and 9 all 3 did in a row. So this is a pretty brutal stretch.
That is fading towards the out of bounds. Not
just barely.
Yeah, not too bad, but just enough to be OB.
Most every player here is just trying to keep it in bounds here. That's the number one goal. But Jen's still trying to bite off distance, and I mean that is going to get her in trouble. But I really do like the aggressive play. She's feeling comfortable with her discs.
Yeah, I feel like you don't win by, I'm just going to lay up for a easy par,
So true.
Again, this is one of the better wins to attack this hole.
Hailey going big again. That was a great shot.
Really solid. Whoa. Spotter lost the flag part of his flag. That looks like a claymore. She's close enough that she can just pitch a mid-range. She just hit that tree and
looks like it came out a little early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not the typical mistake you see from Kristin, and by that I mean I've never seen her make a mistake, maybe ever.
It's so scary to throw something flippy in this wind, though. Props to her for trying to claymore out. Jen
goes a little long here and has a 35-foot comebacker putt.
Kat lining up the sidearm route as well behind this tree.
I believe that's her 4th, so she also will be long for her par putt.
This green is so fast.
Man, she's out. Whoa.
Yeah.
She's not happy.
No, this wind will make you lose your mind.
Harp upshot from Kristin. Harp run from Kristin?
Yeah, soft bid. I don't know what other people's mental games are here, but I just don't even try to think about anything that happens. As soon as it happens, I'm like, well, there's nothing I could do. Move on to the next shot.
I think
that's just how it is.
We're supposed to do.
Yeah, but it's easier in the wind because it's so crazy what happens.
You can kind of write off any shot. Like, well, that was insane.
Yep. That would never happen again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kat just laying up from circle 2. Let's see if Jen gives this a run. Nope. Doesn't want any part of it.
This is Kristin for par.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Man,
Putt.
she's making the putting look like it's easy. It was not easy today, folks.
Maybe she thinks it's easy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she's on lead card. Hailey with a bogey here, and everyone else.
There were 2 birdies today.
Oh, wow.
Ella Hansen and Chloe Alice getting 4s.
Very cool.
That is great.
Everyone else with bogeys on that hole.
One of the coolest holes on the course, also one of the most difficult in the wind we had today, which was a screaming headwind up this tunnel. You have to get over this fence to be inbounds and not hyzer out over the cart path. Crashing to the right is fine, but it's kind of a natural OB over there. It's really tough to get out. Your second shot lands somewhere around this corner. Whether you want to crest or not is up to you because the out of bounds pinches on the left-hand side. Then it starts getting closer to the basket as you move on. It's a nice little tunnel shot to finish, and it's pretty wide open there. Just some trees you have to deal with.
Wow.
This hole is hard in calm conditions.
Yeah. Basically, everyone's going to be throwing something usually a slower speed, like a mid-range or even a stable putter.
Unless you're Kristin.
Yeah, I was going to say, sometimes you see fairways. Let's see, what did Kristin throw here? Oh, that was a Fortress, which is, wow, an interesting choice. But she's in bounds.
It was a pretty stiff headwind when my card came through, but I know it was calm the entire 10 minutes we were sitting there on a backup. So, no.
It looks like a pretty good wind here.
Yeah.
So Hailey on this right side, and that's inbounds, whereas in previous years that was all out of bounds. As Madison said, it is kind of a natural OB and can be absolutely just diabolical in there. Like, it's not good to be in there. Hailey kind of on the edge, though. Jen perhaps finding more trouble. We'll see.
Yeah, that looks brutal in there.
Yeah, I almost think it should still be out of bounds. Which I'm not usually a fan for more out of bounds.
I don't know. I kind of like leaving it open because then maybe you land and have a way to get out.
I guess if you're on the edge, but
That's a great shot from
that's
Kat.
as far of a shot as you're ever going to see off the tee from Kat.
Kristin got a little tree kick and she is landing out towards the middle.
She's
so
in a good spot, actually.
Yeah, she's going to be able to attack the corner. You can see she's lining up one of her distance sidearms.
The challenge is that OB comes in pretty quick, and it's a pretty narrow corner that Kristin just landed on perfectly and easily.
So good.
That was a great shot. So you think this should be in bounds?
Yes. I like this. This is disc golf. And on a golf course, we're not getting this very much.
I just saw someone land so far to the right that it took almost 3 shots. It was like 2.5 shots to like fully get out.
Oh. There is also some casual water back there that's pretty sketchy that I don't love.
But normally I am a fan of natural OB. It's just rough over there. Just don't land over there.
Yeah.
Hailey does have a good gap and gets out really nicely.
She's not quite to the corner, but she'll still be able to bite off some of it on her next shot because she's far enough down.
Mm-hmm. So this is that kind of same shot we saw Kristin throw. Jen's trying the backhand. Again, you can see how that OB is just a wall right there, and you have to land on that narrow corner. This is a common error, cutting it too close, because that's actually in bounds.
Yep. And then you could see the wind screaming from left to right too, so it's really hard to get that touchy backhand that lays down and doesn't flex out.
Kat just trying to get up to the corner to set up her third shot. Pretty solid shot there.
Once you get up to the corner, it's about 260 feet to the basket, and it's a little uphill / back a little downhill.
They also tightened it up. The left side used to have a lot less OB than it does now, so it's more of a true tunnel. I really don't know what happened to Hailey's shot here.
Yeah, I like the idea. I couldn't tell if it was pinched too much. We'll find out.
Yeah. Yeah, so Jen, in that kind of what did you say? Not quite 250.
Yeah, ish, somewhere in there.
Yeah,
240.
maybe a little shorter, but tangled.
Yeah, she is wrapped up. Looks like she's looking to try to bite off a bunch here.
It sure does look like it. She's thinking about it.
No way.
I don't know.
That looks like a pitch up all day.
It does. I mean, that is a Rock X3 in her hand, so I don't...
Okay.
It's just a pitch up.
Okay.
I think she was thinking about it,
Yep.
and I do believe she made the correct decision there.
100%. I like the sidearm play here. It sets up nicely for a backhand turnover that like flexes out at the very end, but
You don't want to flex out too much. I don't know if you looked at how close that left side OB is.
Oh, no, I didn't even realize it was down there.
It's super close. The right side is all safe, and the left side is pretty tight.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't know that today.
So Jen in a really good spot to attack here. Just a nice straight shot.
That looks fine.
Awesome. No, that's great. More than fun. Come on.
That looks wonderful.
There we go.
And you can see just from the way our lead card's playing this hole how this averaged at 1.07 strokes over par. Kristin, the only person really playing it clean, and even she's going to have a little bit of a tester just from flubbing it up, then add the tough conditions. I mean,
Yeah, but it should be an easy par.
Yeah.
This is her fourth. Tap in.
This is Hailey's fourth as well. After a great recovery. Man, she
I
got
like
way down
the
there on
run.
the sidearm. I've lost count, but I feel like this is her fourth shot too.
Yeah,
Fifth-
we'll see
fifth
at the
shot?
end. Just don't even. Shh. I do really like this hole, but I feel like they brought in a little bit more out of bounds at the end where it doesn't need it, and then
Yep.
took away the out of bounds in the beginning where maybe it does
Good.
need it.
Yep.
But one person's opinion. Jen with a bogey there. Yep, you were right. Cat with a par.
Cat with a good par.
Kristin's par. is good.
There were a few birdies today. Alexis Mandujano, Macy Veladiaz, Vanessa Van Dyken, Maria Oliva, and Holland Hanley getting 4s. And I'm going to highlight the people that get birdies on these holes.
Oh, yeah.
Dang, that's good. That's 9 holes.
Yeah, let's take a look. That's not even too bad. A lot of just over par. Kristin Tattar even is stellar.
Yes.
But a few for par here is fine.
In calm conditions, I think we'd see a lot more people closer to par, but the conditions really were absolutely brutal, and even staying in the +4, +5 range feels okay. Checking out the rest of the field.
Katrina Allen is the only other person at even par, and everyone else is over.
Yep. You can see a lot of people in the +4 range in that front 9. We still got 9 more holes. It doesn't get any less brutal. We hope you guys enjoyed the front and listening. Thanks again to the FPO VIP members, the Flying V Club. You guys make our day. Thank you for your support. For anyone interested in joining, it's $10 a month, and it supports GK Pros, FPO footage, and your 2 hot geese.
Yeah, I think when we're in California, we're going to do like an Ask Me Anything or something fun for our VIP members. So think about joining and joining us for that.
Yeah, if you have any suggestions of what you guys would like from us as well, please leave it in the comments. Send it our way. We love to hear what you guys want. Thanks for hanging out. We got 9 more holes. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Erika Stinchcomb. We're the 2 hot geese.
Honk.